Good Sunday morning, friends and neighbors. Old Doc here and Cowboy Bob playing a little Johnny Cash one piece at a time. We are gonna revisit a couple of things, not really issues. I got a belt that's an inch shorter so our alternator can fit a little closer, and I got half of that Lovejoy coupler came in, and I misspoke last week. I missed it on in my editing, but Brett out of Dag Wild, as I mentioned in my last video, he is the one that found a link for a place in Lincoln, Nebraska for this coupler, 11 spline, and I kept saying 12 spline. It's an 11 spline 3/4 inch coupler. It's not a Lovejoy, it's Lovejoy type. I can't remember what brand this one is. It is bigger than the Lovejoy that's in there. I think this is a L100, and I can't remember right off what that one is. I'm gonna pull that pump off, and it's only 2 bolts. Slide that pump back and put this half of the coupler on, and sometime this coming week, the other half, the half that slides onto the engine crank, is supposed to be in. But I want to make sure, boy, that just, it's 3/4 inch, and I measured the shaft on that pump, but for some reason this just looks really small, so I'm losing sleep over it. So that's where we're at. I'm going to take the pump up. I had to move the Bobcat forward to get me a little room back here because we added that weight last week, if you remember. Matthew helped me get that weight on, but so I had to move the machine forward a little bit. I'm going to take that pump off. Like I said, it's 2 bolts. There's one here and one down here at the bottom, and that pump comes back, separates that Lovejoy coupler. Put this L100 on and put that other pump, or that shorter belt, on. It is in this bag. It's the same company that that other belt, and new spiders for that larger L100. I believe that's all that's in here for now, until the other half of that L100 coupler comes in. But I just want to make sure that this is going to fit that pump shaft, because it just, out here, it just looks really small. It measures 3/4, but we're gonna see. So I'll bring you back here as soon as I get a light on, get my bucket seat set down, get a wrench to move the alternator, and 3/4 inch socket and ratchet for that down there, for that pump. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I think we got all the tools necessary. Try to do this one-handed. Oh, yeah. Sorry about all the flopping and wobbling. I tell you, I'm a little disappointed in some people today, actually Brother Dan, I think he was in one of my videos from like a year ago or something, just briefly. We don't have the same mother and we got different dads, but we're brothers. And we had an ex-co-worker pass away. Yesterday was his funeral. And Brother Dan and I, we decided, you know, we needed to go because the guy who'd passed away, he was a really good guy. I don't know anybody that didn't like him. And he was a friend. And he lived here in town. How am I going to get this? I need to find that. There we go. So anyway, Brother Dan and I, we decided we're gonna, I'm trying to lean over my big belly. I don't think that's the right one. We wanted to go and yeah, it is, pay our respects to Jim. And so we took Dan's got a really nice, fairly new Corvette. I don't know what year it is. And you want to see a circus, you guys should have watched me getting in out of that Corvette. But we went to Jim's funeral, and we were the only two co-workers and that attended the funeral. He worked for this company for 59.5 years. And he recently retired. I'm talking within the last year. I cannot. There we go. He retired here like within a year ago. He worked there for 59.5 years, and we didn't see one representative from the company, nor did we see any flowers from the company. And that just really torqued me off, if you know what I mean. And I'm still not a happy camper about it. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too much shaking around. I'm trying to do all this with one hand, and things are fairly tight. I'm going to try to find a place to mount you up. I'm trying to make this video quick because, I mean, it wouldn't take long, but trying to get the camera situated and everything is proven to be a let me see. Cowboy Bob, he's ending the show early today because they got, I believe it's Iowa Hawkeyes basketball or something coming on. Okay, now hopefully that stays there and it doesn't fade or slide back. I'm going to pull that pump off. I got that set screw in the Lovejoy loose. I'll probably need a pry bar to pry that off the shaft, and but when I move that back, I'll be able to get this belt. Oh, I just knocked one of them bolts out of. There we go. And put that other belt on. Let me bring you back in a minute. You don't need to see me, I guess, prying on that. It shouldn't be too hard to get off because I did put some anti-seize on that shaft, because when I fixed that Lovejoy coupler and put that spider in there, those were seized on. I had to use a puller on both halves, and it was not fun. I cleaned the smooth shaft up on the crank here and put some anti-seize on it, and I wire brushed the splines and put some anti-seize on that pump shaft. But I'm going to cut you off here and pull that. You don't need to watch me wrestle that Lovejoy off, but I'll bring you back. Okay, that wasn't too awful bad. It took both hands, and you know, I didn't have to go get the big book of cuss words and the proper way to use them, but I did get it off. I thought this one was bigger. This is a, I don't know, is that an 090 or is it a 775? I don't know. But that spider, it was it hadn't been there that long, as most of you know, but it's probably due to my welding up the ears. And you know, here is the size difference between the two. So there's as far as diameter goes. Oh, that's what I wanted to point out. See, there's no splines in there. What they did is they took a let me get the spider out of here. Maybe you can see it better from the other side. See, what they did is they took a key. This side actually looks a little better, and sharpened it to a point so it was only catching in one spline on that shaft. And my fear was that key shearing and just stripping all the splines off of that shaft, and then I'd just be, you know, up the creek. I'm going to find the correct Allen wrench that fits this and slide it on, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, it fits on there pretty good. I wish I had the other half so I could complete this part of the project today. This this coupler has two big set screws on it. I'm not going to tighten them down super tight. What I'm hoping is, I don't know how well you guys, maybe you can see there. Let me use this Allen wrench for a pointer. My shaft doesn't come clear out to the end, but it is catching these set screws are catching the shaft. So I'm not going to tighten it up right now till I get the other half of this coupler, and then I can adjust them on the shafts. You know, hopefully. I may have to, see this flange right here? It was bolted with this face up against the back of this face. If I need to bring it closer, I guess I can put the faces like the back side of this back here. if you're smelling what I'm stepping in, if I need them to bring them in closer, or I may have to grind some of the back off of this, or take it to somebody and have it machined, whatever. Well, that won't do me any good, will it, to have that machined? Yeah, well, we'll have to see what we need to do, if anything. This is much thicker, so it will sit back on here further, but this old Lovejoy, the end of the shaft went right up here to the end of that. So we'll see what happens. We'll deal with it when it gets here. I'm going to go ahead and put this video up today. It's Sunday, because I've got a very busy week. So yeah, let me get that other belt out of the bag, and we'll put it on quick. We can at least get the alternator belt on, right? Okay, this belt should be, let me get you in frame there, try to. This belt should be no big mystery. I may have to, let me see if I can find a place to clamp you guys so you can watch me struggle. My hands are probably just going to be all up in the way anyhow. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Getting both my arms down in there. I wish I could. There we go. Now there's probably going to be plenty of play in it. Why it's such a struggle, you know, don't ask me. But that I may have to get it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a wrench now because I can't get my ratchet. The belt's in the road to get my ratchet in there, I think. Let's see. I want to get my bar. See if I can pull that alternator back a little bit more. If I got room to get my bar down in there, which is just a tire spoon. There's enough flex in that top bracket, which is the downside, but oh boy, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And I'll show you the reason I got a belt that's an inch shorter, or I'll try to. Let me see where, okay. See how much space? I'll try to show you. Okay, here's the inside of this back bumper, and there's the back of the alternator. And with that other belt, these wires and the alternator were almost, even though I have them taped up and what have you, they were almost to the back bumper. So after that other belt, you know, stretches a bit or something, it's probably going to be slipping. So I ordered a 35-inch belt, and it has the grooves in it for better traction. Not that, you know, I mean, it's an alternator on a little Bobcat. How much pulling does it really need to do, right? So at least we got the new belt on, and we got half of the Lovejoy on. Problem is, now I can't move it. Well, I could, but I have no hydraulics, and I don't think it's a good idea to run them or move them very much without the hydraulics hooked up, because if I think the hydraulic fluid washes on the clutches, the wet clutches, you know, for your turning and moving. So I don't think running them dry is a good idea. So it's still inside here, it's just a little closer to the gate. So we got that little bit of an issue taken care of temporarily. You can still see the oily mess in there. I haven't replaced this hose. I need to find the grease zerk. There's supposed to be a grease zerk on this. Maybe you can see it better. There's supposed to be a grease zerk on that somewhere to grease that. So when you put hydraulic pressure to that piston inside, it squeezes these sheaves together. And if that gets rusty or dry in there, then naturally it doesn't want to, you know, squeeze together. But I don't remember seeing a grease zerk on it. Oh, yes, maybe I do. I see, said the blind man as he stumbled down the hall. So while we're thinking of that, I'll go get the grease gun and shoot some on it. You know, you guys don't want to see that. It's a beautiful day today. I think the last I heard, you know, maybe 40 minutes ago, it was like 45 degrees. Not a bit of breeze. It's just a beautiful fall day. And so I thought now would be a good time to rectify some of these small things while I have time. My time is extremely limited. So I think I'm gonna get the grease gun, give that a few shots, see if my solid core spark plug wires that I think I bought them for the EM and never used them. I don't know why, but I think I'll make up some new plug wires, get rid of this mixed matched whatever they got there, if they're long enough. Grease that zerk. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's my helper guy. Hi, Taters. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, cornbread. Oh, cornbread. He's my helper. For all you new subscribers, and he's my buddy. He always has to come around and help me work on things, and go in the shed and check, make sure he keeps the mice out of the shed for me. But I know some of you are gonna piss, cuss, and moan. I really don't care. I should, while I'm at it, replace these two wires going to the coil, because apparently at one time they got a little warmish. So I think I'm going to cut, and I'll replace this yellow one, because it's just a short wire, or white, I guess it is. It's just yellowed from oil and crap. I'm just going to replace that whole wire. The other one looks like it goes back here to the condenser. I'm not going to try to reach back, take that cover off and all that crap. And they got all taped up. It's working for now, so I may just put a connector in that one. Looks like this. I don't know what that is. Fuel line. Looks like it got plenty warm too before they put the heat wrap on. Anyway, I'm done mumbling and babbling here. I'm just going to replace this small stuff, grease that up. You know, you guys have all made up spark plug wires, and but I know this is going to torque some of you off. If you want to comment on it, I don't care. This is ignition wire that comes from the key switch, I believe. Comes down here, feeds the coil, and this red wire, I would just have them you know, a wire connector on there, but the fuel pump or the gas pump is twisted in with it. So I'm just going to kind of clean this knot up a little bit. I'm going to put a wire nut on it, you know. Go ahead, have a duct fit. I'm going to put a wire nut on it for now. And because I'm not sure I'm going to keep that electric pump on there. I would like to, and I'm not going to do it this winter, take that fuel pump off, or see if there's anything wrong with it. It may be maybe it's just sucking air from this melted, now hard as a rock hose. I don't know, but somebody before me put this electric pump on it. I would like to get, I think you can get a diaphragm yet for that pump. I'd like to get it working, get away from this electric fuel pump. If I can't get that one to work, it's no big deal. Electric fuel pumps aren't that big of a deal. But I just, you know. Anyway, I'm done babbling. So with that, friends and neighbors, I'll show you the great outdoors. What a beautiful day it is. Our maple trees caught a good hard freeze here a couple weeks ago. We had that dash of snow, and our maple trees are shedding. And when all the leaves are gone, that's when I'm going to take the mower and get the leaves all up in the yard, grind them up for Mom, because she likes to mulch around her flower beds and things. And then I'm going to borrow our buddy John. I'm going to borrow his pole saw. I get some of these limbs off the horse trailer. I got a bunch on top of this, raking on top of the building I want to get off. And there's the maple tree that I really like. That's got them big leaves on. I don't know what kind it is. And that's what I don't like about this time of year. When the leaves come out of that big tree, it's just so ugly. But I'm going to take John's pole saw while I got it here, trimming these others. I'm going to do a bunch of trimming in that tree, because it's a pain in the butt. Those branches, they grow so fast, and it gets to the point you can't walk under them, and it's a pain in the butt to go back and forth with the mower. But I'm going to trim this tree up. Some of the branches hanging over the neighbor's place, I'm going to cut them off, and they're pretty good sized. And then I got, well, look at the leaves. I'm gonna just start nipping the ends of these off before they get out over the house. And I mean, if the tree falls, it falls, but if that whole branch breaks off, if it wipes out the deck, that's one thing, but I don't want it hitting the house. So I'm gonna cut some of them down. But yeah, we have every year a collection of leaves, and Some of them get chopped up. Like I said, I just take the lawnmower, go over them, kind of blow them into a row what don't chop up, blow them into a windrow, and then we have this, I forget what the hell it is. What is it? Roto-hoe. It's a leaf and tree branch shredder. It's an old dog. If you go way back in my videos, you'll see short clips. I bought this to grind hay for our horses, believe it or not. We would use this for a hay grinder, and it cut down our waste tremendously, because we'd feed round bales, and well, we didn't square bale. We didn't have enough to square bale, so we'd buy round bales also to go through the winter. And but there was always so much waste, so we started grinding the hay. It was much more palatable to them, easier for them, especially old Willie. He was old, and it cut our waste from, let's say, 15-20% down to probably 1%, 1 or 2%. So that was a pretty good investment. Yeah, it took some time, but it was worth it. Anyway, we run the leaves through that and shred them up, and Mom puts them in her flower beds and her garden bed and what have you. That's what you hear. You hear leaf blowers and lawnmowers. Everybody's getting rid of their leaves and what have you. And our leaves are about gone in the park. So anyway, friends and neighbors, that deal at the funeral yesterday, I was really, really disappointed. It just, I can't express my disappointment in people that, you know, he worked for that company 49 and a half years, and none of them showed up. None of them. And Dan and I, we were the only two that used to work with him, and he was a good guy. Anyway, I'm out of here, friends and neighbors. You have a great day. Be kind to each other. Do something kind for a friend, a stranger, or a loved one. Saying please and thank you goes a long way. And so does showing up for friends. Show up for them. Have a great day.